So what are the different methods of voting in the California State Legislature? There are definitely differences in how voting by legislators is conducted on the floors of the state assembly and the state senate in the California legislature. The main differences are that the assembly uses an electronic means of recording votes on the floor, while senators record their votes with a verbal response to a roll call. Also, as a general rule, assembly members may change their votes under specified circumstances, but senators cannot do so. So let's take a look at each of them individually. Starting with the assembly, under Assembly Rule 105, the ayes and noes are recorded by the electric voting system on the final passage of bills, and the names of the legislators and how they cast their votes are then entered in the Assembly Daily Journal. Pursuant to Assembly Rule 106, when begun, voting may not be interrupted, except that before the final vote is announced, any legislator may have the total pending vote flashed and asked to move a call after the completion of the roll call, but before the final vote has actually been announced. Also pursuant to Assembly Rule 106, prior to adjournment on the same legislative day, and assuming unanimous consent, a legislator may instruct the chief clerk of the assembly to change his or her recorded vote after the vote's been announced, so long as the outcome of the vote has not changed. And then under Assembly Rule 107, in a tie vote, the motion or the bill itself fails passage if there's a tie vote. In the Senate, pursuant to Senate Rule 44, whenever a roll call is required by the Constitution or the rules, and if it's ordered by the Senate or demanded by 3 or more legislators, then every legislator within the Senate has to answer aye or no when his or her name is called, although they cannot answer and abstain. Senate Rule 44 requires the names of legislators to be called alphabetically, and a senator may not vote or change his or her vote after the announcement of the final vote. They may not do so unless you are one of the 2 party leaders. So basically under Senate Rule 44, once the vote has been announced, no member can change their vote. However, the Senate President pro tem and the minority floor leader are, without objection, allowed to ask the Secretary of the Senate to add their vote to any previously announced vote that was taken while the pro tem or the minority floor leader was off the floor. However, they cannot change the outcome of the vote. So if, for example, a bill was called 21 votes for passage and that would change somehow, that cannot be done. So you can't change the outcome. Generally, again, senators are not allowed to change their vote after the final passage has been announced or the final vote has, except the 2 legislative leaders.